Hello and welcome to Bloke on the Range. Now, a week ago we had the first ever Bloke on the Range bolt action challenge, and I think overall it was a reasonable success.
Yeah, I think so. It really, we got some excellent reviews, impressions, and a good turnout.
Yeah, actually, we were a bit worried when we first set it up as to whether we were going to be able to fill it, and we thought, well, maybe we'll only get 20 or 30 people, and whatever, it'll be fine. And ultimately, we were oversubscribed. We had something like 85 people sign up. We had a number of no-shows in the end, but that's part of the course, and we had to add a few extra details. So, as a little reminder, what we did was a bit of a mixture of British and Swiss style shooting from back in the day and today in the for the Swiss part. And we started off at 100 metres with a Swiss 50-metre pistol target, 10 rounds in a minute after two sighters, with a compulsory reload in the middle so that we don't get accused of biasing it towards the infield. All those who managed to make 10 hits, and it's a metre-wide scoring area, so you should be making 10 hits.
We assumed it would be.
We assumed that this would not be much of a challenge, but unfortunately it was. So everyone who made 10 hits, or at least hit all the shots they fired, got to go on to 200, where we did the same thing but without any further sighters on the same target, so this was a bit more of a challenge. And those who managed to get through that got to shoot at 300, where we had a little 12-round Swiss-style program of 3 individual shots, 1 series of 3 and 1 series of 6. With the series of 6, you started with 1 round and then put in another charger of 5. So sort of overall, we had 79 entries, of which 6 were re-entries with another rifle, shooting 100. 63 people, or 63 times, was shot again at 200, and a mere 24 at 300.
Yeah,
and
that was the biggest surprise. I think it was the 200-metre drop-off
cliff edge. I mean, some really good shooters who would shoot half their shots really well, and then sort of as you're going through the scorecard, it would be like 5, 5, 4, 4, 4, 3, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah.
Just with a drop off there. And it was slightly unfortunate and unexpected.
It'd been, the way we did it, the 100-metre and 200-metre was scored, well, you'll see, manually with paddles. So you can't progressively see your score like on the electronic targets. So we have no way of knowing whether it was just a random shot somewhere in the series or whether it was rushing at the end that threw them. It'd be interesting to know that.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, it's unknowable. And the reason why we had this quite strict rule was because this was something outside the normal Swiss competition program, and was allowing dirty foreign rifles,
yes,
like the Enfields and things like that. This was to make the club comfortable with allowing us to use the range, and was worrying about damage, particularly at 300 metres. And I think that what we'll do next year is we'll rearrange it a little bit. We haven't decided what we're going to do. If they'll have us back to do it again, that's another thing. We shall try and work it out differently. For instance, what we'll do is we'll possibly be tolerant of misses at 100 and 200, and then just take the best 10 people from each half day session to shoot at 300. So we filter it that way. We're also kind of hoping to do something a bit more historic service rifle with targets on sticks, which you will get missing because the targets will be a lot smaller. So we shall see. So first of all, you shot first.
Yes,
out of us.
I shot first.
You were dressed up.
I was dressed up to the nines in my 1940s kit. It was lovely and warm. And I took my post-war Mass 36. So sticklers will say, why aren't you wearing a pre-war, firing the pre-war one? Simply because the postal one, the sights are dead on. Pre-war one is slightly off. So, and it went really well. And you'll see in the vid, I got one last shot at 300 was a 1, which was unfortunate. But otherwise, like 7th, wasn't it?
Yep, 7th. With a 46 at 100, which was really excellent. A 32 at 200 and 32 at 300 for a total of 110.
Yep.
Now, in fact, Gavin, who has supplied this tea, and
we have,
while I blather, if you can be mother.
Yes, we have Welsh tea. We tried Australian tea yesterday, and that was just not tea, really.
Gavin, who came over from South Wales, brought us Welsh tea
and Welsh whiskey. We haven't
whiskey.
tasted it. But yes, I loaned him my rifle, and he beat me by a point, which is most unsporting of him.
Yes,
he's given us whiskey, so it's fine.
He scored 111, getting 43 at 100, 34 at 200, and 34 at 300. Again, an excellent score. You also had a second go.
Yes, I had a second go shooting the long Carcano 91. It was basically the second time I've ever shot it. Once was just to make sure that bullets were coming out of the barrel. And what had happened when I tested it was at 100 it was shooting fine. What did I get? 40, which was respectable. And when I again shot it to try and sight it in at 300, I wasn't hitting. And here at 200, I figured out why. It's shooting right progressively. So 100 it's dead on, and then it would be drifting. So no wonder I wasn't hitting it 300 in practice. So I had a nice group right on the edge, but of course that's just asking for a miss. I only missed once within that 10 string, but they were all in the one zone on the right.
And in fact, Bill, who was one of the people running the 200 metre butts, did note that there were a fair number of people who shot good groups, but their sights were way off. So their group was way off, and okay, it's a metre, but if you're a foot off, sorry for mixing units, your outer shots can be off, and we had the rule, and that's unfortunately.
I think had I known, I think the Carcano would have done reasonably well.
Mm-hmm. So I shot on the last detail of the day. I've been doing the sort of welcome and checking people's
What did you forget to do?
And everything. Sorry?
And you forgot something.
I forgot something.
Namely himself.
Yes. I've been squatting the loaner guns for people who didn't have their own, particularly people coming from abroad. And while working out who got what and where, and taking into account people's requests if they wanted to shoot this or that, I managed to forget that, of course, I had to squad myself in with my number 4, my first choice rifle, because it was being loaned out to other people. So I suddenly had a panic of, oh dear, I've loaned my number 4 out, I have to shoot my K31, my second choice. I'd managed to at least keep that one clear and not have to shoot like a third choice rifle, my not quite so good K31. So that
48.
I got 48 at 100, and interestingly, for geeks who like talking about sight setting, that would be me. I actually set the sights at 200 and aimed at the bottom of the slightly darker 5 zone, because I don't like cutting in half what I'm trying to shoot at. I'd quite like to be able to see it. So it just gave me this possibility of getting about 3 inches down, which is about perfect for aiming at the bottom of the darkest bit.
So for me, I was for 100 and 200. It was just easy. Sight set at 200 because there's nothing lower. But bottom of the target, bottom of the silhouette, easy.
Oh, quite a lot though.
Yeah.
So then I shot 48 at 100, which was the highest at 100. Yay. 200 I scored 38, which is not the highest, as I'm seeing 40 here. Hunts got a 40.
Unlikely down there.
So equal. Christoph also got 38. Yeah. No one got 39. Just aimed straight in the middle.
At 300 though.
Something happened at 300. I scored 32, which was a respectable score, because it was at the end of the day. The light was dropping, and now we're getting into fishermen's excuses.
Yeah.
Now, one of the disadvantages of U-notch sights, as everyone should know, when you focus on the front sight, as you should be, it's always going to be a bit fuzzy. When the light drops, your pupil widens, you lose your depth of field, and it gets really fuzzy. Yeah. Really, really fuzzy.
Well, we've had both experiences with these notches.
Too much light. Because
we had too much light at the 9 egg, where it was
right
in front, and then low light, dusk, because it was, that's one thing. What was it, 4:30? I think.
Yeah, it
was shoot, and
cloudy.
Right now, the sun sets really rather sharply.
The sun goes down behind the mountain.
Yeah, and so that was a rushed series. I noticed the scoring was also extremely quick.
Yeah, we were trying to get it through quickly because we also had to finish by the end of the allotted shooting time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's my excuse. So I came second with 118. It was actually won by Nikita from Lithuania with an M39 Mosin.
Yep.
This was some awesome shooting because he was having to work it like he meant it and take it out of his shoulder to work the bolt.
I think we got some good footage of that.
Yeah.
It
was really very, very impressive.
Yeah. But yes, that also leads on to a nice impression, was that there was relatively good number of people coming from abroad to shoot, which was nice.
Yeah, including some people from Canada, like other Mike came from Canada. Someone came from the States. So people came from the UK. Were amazed. We didn't think that just to come and shoot maximum of 34 shots that it would be worth coming all this way, but it was.
France and interesting as well.
Yeah, guy from France, also
in gear.
Gear. Well, his gear was all original.
He was. That was very impressive.
Yeah. Whereas yours is mostly repro.
Mostly repro. Yeah.
So if we just go down the list of what people were using, it'll give you a little impression. So it was one with an M39 Mosin, then me with a K31, K31, your Mass 36, K31, your Mass 36 with you.
Yep.
G11, Swiss G11, K31, a 9611, another 9611. Then we got 3 number 4s in a row.
K31.
One of which was mine. K31, my number 4 again, other Mike. K31, G11, K31, G11, and then it sort of goes on like this. The K31 was definitely the one that most people brought.
Statistically, it was inevitable anyway.
Mm.
But I think it's given people, for next time, I think it's given people the incentive to say, well, hang on, I've got this in my cupboard. Why not I bring it out next time?
Yeah.
Especially the Swiss shooters, they're reluctant. Well, they basically mostly don't have a chance. They might go to a private range and go to 50, maybe 100.
But also, you can shoot it on the standard ranges. There's nothing that obliges you to shoot with the modern diopter size.
Yeah.
So in terms of zeroing, and this was a point that came up mostly from Bill in the butts, was zeroing the rifles. Just don't assume that just because the notch that was set there in 1947 is valid for you and is still valid at all.
With that coming with modern ammunition.
Yeah. And there is the opportunity on the normal village ranges to shoot these over open sights. So you get looked at funny. I mean, they're normally used to us doing it now. Oh, it's just the strange foreigners. But they're hitting, so that's all right.
Yeah.
So you can set the sights at 300, and then you know that your zero is going to be good enough for government work at 200 and 100. And with the long rifles, where the lowest setting's 300, well, you've got to hold under anyway. And that's what your sight is for. So
we did have 2 Mausers. Now where are they?
Yes, we had a Siamese that just failed to function at all, the ammunition, and we had an Israeli 98K 7.62 conversion, one of the ones where the magazines hadn't been rejigged properly, and that one was problematic. Where did that one go? So that was Jens, and he got 38 at 100, 15 at 200.
He really tried. He was really going for it, but
he was struggling with that thing. And something that the Buddy pointed out was that a lot of people were struggling with number 4s, including my number 4. Watch more of my videos to learn how not to struggle with a number 4.
We were reviewing the footage, seeing people from above, seeing them handle a number 4, and it was hard work for some reason.
Yeah, it's like, is that my number 4? Yeah, that's my number. I never struggled with my number 4, and a lot of it is because we're using S&B ammunition. So a few people who brought their own privy. You've really got to asymmetrically stagger the rims in the chargers and then push them down like you mean it, so that the top round is fully engaged in the magazine. Otherwise, you're going to have a bad time. And there are a couple of people having an unfortunately bad time.
Yeah. Not only do you have to work the bolt like in a soldierly fashion, you have to charge in a soldierly fashion.
Yeah. Other surprises, rifles-wise, there was a Ross.
Yes.
Cédric brought a Ross. This was superb. It was just fantastic. He scored 46 at 100, but then only 14 at 200, unfortunately. That's the first Ross we've seen in the flesh in Switzerland.
Yep. That was surprising. Unzipped his rifle bag. Ooh.
Nice. Cool.
One of the surprising things was how people were flustered with the minute. This was something that finally got into my head this year. Was how long it actually is and how to pace yourself. But I think that's one of the issues with 200, because there wasn't any sighters, which would sort of put you in your comfort zone more or less at 100, and you're just left there. You have 1 minute, you're 10 shots, and you could see people. They were rushing their reloads, sort of snap shooting when they really shouldn't.
Yeah, there were quite a few people finishing quite early. I mean, the time was being called, so you could pace yourself. But in the Swiss standard program, the fastest shooting is 6 rounds in a minute. I mean, or 4 rounds in 12 rounds in 4 minutes, which is so it's getting used to it. I mean, 15 rounds in a minute is is challenging. 10 rounds, well, we sort of view it in terms of compared to 15 or an unlimited mad minute.
Yeah.
And I guess being used to the timing and saying, okay, I'm going to get my first shot off quickly because you can start in the aim, and then I want to have my reload finished by the time they call 30, and then be finished by around the 50-second mark, 45, 50 seconds, so that you've got 10 to 15 seconds of fluster room, basically, in case something goes wrong with the reload. I mean, because the K31s, you're reaching down inside a bottomless pit of doom. And some people were loading 4 at the start and then 6, which we allowed. I was loading 5 and 5 so that I didn't have the worry about that last 6th round at the bottom of the pit of doom not clicking in. Because if it doesn't click in, it will jam.
It'll jam, yeah.
But it's always nice to have a little bit of fumble room just in case, or you do something, you mismanipulate the bolt on number 4, which I did on one of the early mad minutes. I went, and it took it, and because it's a very controlled feed, it just flicks it straight out. So you've got time to grab that one and put it back in if you need to. It's just it gives you a bit of wriggle room.
It was almost as if you have to, it's at the beginning, make people stand still for a minute.
Yeah, and say like
this is how long you have. That's what threw me. That's what threw me a bit with the Carcano, was getting used to having 6 in the clip.
Yeah,
because everything else we've been shooting very rapidly was, well, not in the Swiss sense. So in your number 4, the end number 4 is in the UK, and Mass 36 it's all 5s. And oh no, I've got one more.
Yeah.
So that was surprising. So yes, we're going to try and work that out so that people don't feel so let down, I think, at the 200.
Yeah, definitely. So, room for improvement. Yeah, that's about it. So, first of all, massive thanks to Stadtschützenthun for letting us do the match. Thank you very much, particularly to Buddy, that's Hans-Peter, and Dimo and Ramon for doing most of the organisation. Buddy worked particularly tirelessly at this, so many thanks. Many thanks to all the other helpers, the guys that spent all day down in the butts pulling targets.
It was quite a cold day.
It was quite a cold day. People doing stats, people running the range. If I say everybody's name, I'll forget someone, and I'm terrible with names, so I'm sorry. Everybody who helped, thank you all so much. We thanked you all in person already.
Yep.
So hopefully that's good. Thank you to all those who actually travelled to come for the match. It was fantastic to see such a lot of support there. The winners, what we did with the prizes, and I think we forgot to get some footage of the actual what the prizes were. They were these sausage slices,
very Swiss,
engraved. Yep. And we gave the prizes out to we started at rank 1 and worked down, not including us, because there's something wrong about making a competition and then giving yourself the prize, you can win the prizes. So it was those who were present or who had friends present, starting from number 1 and working down, and then the top 10 who were there or had friends there got a T-shirt, a commemorative T-shirt as well. So
a commemorative T-shirt is on our store if you want a commemorative T-shirt anyway.
Yeah, you don't have to have been at the concert to wear the band's T-shirt.
Exactly.
And so we're gonna work on this again for next year, possibly allowing semi-autos and sort of extending it, or at least retro semi-autos.
Retro,
maybe.
at least, yeah.
And see what we can do with the range constraints that we have there, if they'll have us back. So, thank you all for watching. Thank you for tolerating our blather. Excellent tea, by the way.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Gavin. And yes, please, if you've just discovered us, like and subscribe and all that. Please consider supporting us on Patreon. So I think once we've paid the range fees, we will have to subsidise some of that.
Yeah.
We shall see. We haven't got the final invoice
bill
for that yet. But next year, to avoid no shows, we'll certainly be paying in advance and trying to make sure that we don't have to cross subsidise. And so, thank you all very much, and see you again. Bye.
Bye.